guys, today we're going to do word phrases and algebraic expressions, section 3.2, page 90. You'll probably find this pretty easy, but it's very important to algebra to be able to understand a sentence that has words in it that mean something, and you always need to take those words and underline them when you see them so that you know what they mean. If you see the word times, that means to multiply. If you see the word less, that means subtract. If you see the word quotient, that's the answer to a division problem. If you see the word sum, that means positive, add. If you see the word twice, that means multiply by 2. So I'm just going to put an n there so that you're multiplying by a number. If you see divide by, you know you're going to divide by. If you see more means positive. Diminished means subtract. Half, if you see something it's half, you have to divide by 2. Difference, that's the answer in a subtraction problem. Add means add. Subtract means subtract. Decreased means subtract. Increased means add. And product means multiply. Okay, so you got to be careful if you're using the x when we're doing algebraic expressions, because a lot of times the variables we use are x. So a lot of times you'll use either a dot or just like this expression means 3 times n. We don't have to put an x in between there. So I'm going to give some examples and then show you how to do it. This section really shouldn't take you too long. The first one says the sum plus n, the sum of n and 4. So you need to translate that into a sentence. So if you're doing the sum of n and 4, sum is key because that means add. So we're adding n and 4, so that's how you would write it. The difference between a number and 5. Now with difference, you really have to make sure you know which one is getting subtracted from the other. It says the difference between a number, n, and 5. So the difference is going to be n minus 5. Just be careful because if you put 5 minus n, that would change the answer. 1/3 of a number. So we're going to do 1/3 and we're going to call the number n. We use n because n stands for number. You can use x or whatever you want. A number divided by 6. So take your n and divide it by 6. Okay? And then the sum of 3 and 8 times a number. Okay, so now we're getting a little more difficult. You have to figure out the sum of 3 and 8 times a number. Well, 8 times a number is 8n, but the sum of 3 and 8 times a number is 8n plus 3. That would be the sum of that. This one says 8 more than 3 times a number. Okay, so 3 times a number would be 3x, and then 8 more of that would be plus 8. The quotient of the difference of a number and 8 and twice the number. Let n represent the number. Okay, I'm going to go over here for a second. So it says the quotient, so we know we're going to be dividing, that's going to be our answer, of the difference of a number and 8. Well, what's the difference of a number and 8? N minus 8. But we want the quotient of this and twice the number. So the quotient of the difference between a number and 8 and then twice the number. That's telling us to divide. This is the difference between n and 8, and that's twice the number. And the last one is the opposite of the reciprocal of the square of a number. And it says let s be the number. Okay, the opposite, so we know we're going to put a negative in front of there, of the reciprocal of the square of a number. Okay, reciprocal means put 1 over it, and then it says of the square of a number, and it wants the number to be s. So those get a little more difficult, so you really have to just break each thing down. Underline words like quotient, sum, twice, and then figure out how you would write them. You're going to do page 91, and the questions are numbers 1 through 24. You don't need to solve anything. You just write out your little algebraic expression. Okay? Thanks.